Greetings, everyone. I'm Sophis, and today this is sort of the continuation we talked about from the last time we were discussing Secret of the Archmages. This time, since we won't really go over the blogs, it's already, been covered, and the rest has been on dev streams and all that, and I'm sure everyone knows or has seen a little bit of the tomes by now. So today, me and Bootman, we're gonna talk basically builds and a little bit of theory crafting. All the while, we'll have a little bit of gameplay on the background, but whenever relevant, since we will be talking builds, I'll be doing my usual overlay. So I'll at least have the tomes out whenever we talk about them. So in case you want to try out the builds we discuss, you can at least have that visual, so you can pause and then just try and make your own when the DLC releases. So, want to say something to start off, Bootman?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this. I've made a lot of builds. Some of them aren't like necessarily using a lot of the new stuff. Some of them are just theories that I have, but I'm gonna try and focus on the new things today. And I think we've got some really cute ideas to try out.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, on my end, I think I'm gonna have a lot more uneven builds insofar as breaking the usual format of tier, where you're expected to have 2 tier 1s, 2 tier 2s, and so on. I think there's some potential here for. I mean, we're at a point where there's so much value in the tomes that the tiers are kind of blurry, and it's more about what you can get by combining stuff.
I still break out into hives if I have to go out of order at all.
That's fair enough, but if we're gonna start right out the gate, I think we talked about this a little bit. I think there's a lot of potential with combining evolution, bloodright, gluttony, and warband. Yeah, because all of them have something related to HP. So
Sure.
I think you can make very very much a very beefy farm unit because you will be getting a lot of benefits to it. But I don't really have anything solid yet on the idea because, okay, the I mean, with these tomes, you'll have plenty. I mean, gluttony on its own, we did discuss that. The way it scales up, it's pretty crazy. But I'm still not sure what else to add on top. I think there's a lot of
Well, maybe
potential.
I could start us off with my favorite gluttony build that I've worked out.
Sure. Then, yeah, go ahead.
So, the whole thing about gluttony is that your units get more power based off of deaths, right? But the issue is that you end up highly invested in individual units, right? So if you have like a really cool guy, he's got like 20 stacks of gluttony, and he dies, you're gonna go insane from auto combats, and you're gonna want to go in and do a lot more manuals. But what if we can next level that and get you back to just autoing every single combat every single time while still enjoying the perks of gluttony? I'd like to present to you my dark gluttony build. Okay?
Okay.
And the whole purpose of it, and all you have to do with it at any given point, is just spam immortals.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very powerful. Especially now with the rework, plenty of ways to give a lot of experience to tier 1s.
Yes, there is. I've got adaptable on the race. I've got ruthless raiders, so that we're profiting from death. We're taking gluttony and horde. I could see gluttony and evolution at level 1 as well. I also went into virtue because that's the one that makes your units feel their losses less. I have that on the race as well, because the thing is, the way in which immortals survive the combat, they survive with very little health if they do die.
Yeah, so you want to make sure they deal maximum damage even at that state.
Exactly. Aside from that, I've got cycles in there, so every time a unit dies, it'll heal all your other units within 2 hexes. I've got Sanctuary for Keeper's Mark, so that your units get 1 free save right before they do die. And the rest isn't really relevant. I have Crimson Rain, Revenant, Eternal Lord. That's not really super critical to the build. The only other big thing that's a part of this build is I do have Vision of Ruin, because the Chaos one gives power from Slaughter, which is another thing that buffs your units based off of deaths and kills and everything. So we're playing Death Cult Dark. We've got Gluttony. We've got Vision of Ruin for power from Slaughter. And you're just going to ram as many of these Immortals into every combat. 18 stacks of Immortals. You're going to auto-combat everything. And they're going to accumulate all that power, all those levels. And you're not even have to play the game. It's going to be beautiful.
I mean, yeah, that will probably get out of hand quick. And I mean, depending on just how out of hand that can get, we might see some nerfs next patch cycle because, you know, they did gut shadows. I mean, shades.
They did. I don't think... Here's the thing. I love Gluttony. I don't think Gluttony is going to be problematic enough to justify a heavy nerf. This is the most advantage I could possibly take of it, is these Immortals where there's just no risk of me ever losing my stacks. And so eventually you just end up with what? It's like plus 25% damage or something like that when everything's maxed out.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's on the level 1s. I think it's a really fun setup. And I think that everyone should do it. I'm willing to bet that this will be very great. I'm not going to recommend anybody do it first thing, though, because once again, this is about as caveman as a build can conceivably be.
Yeah, I mean, in Warhammer terms, that's a crap stack, where basically you get low-tier units to just dominate. And then you stack buffs.
Yeah, except in this case, you don't have to worry about like replacing the low-tier units at all. They're just always around.
Super expendable. Yeah, I mean, it would depend on how the combat kind of weighs them, I suppose, because they will come out wounded from the battle.
Yeah, the big thing helping you out there is going to be cycles, because it means that even if all your guys go into battle and they all have like 10% HP, as they die, they're still going to be healing up everybody around them. And Sanctuary will also give you 1 free save. So between those two, I think you've got a good save. And then even ignoring both of those, I've got Glades in there for Aspect of the Root. I've got Rain in there where you get power from adjacent units dying and health as well. And I've even got Revenant. It gives regeneration for your undead units. And we're topping out with Eternal Lord, so if your units do die and you want them back in that fight right now, well, you've got the option for that too.
Well, sure. But I mean, like, if it gets bad enough with their low health, you might need to manual it, is what I mean.
Oh, yes, very possible. I don't know if the AI can pilot it. I gave them light-footed to kind of help with the maneuverability, because you're running 18 shock units.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a little bit sketchy, but you're right. It's very possible the AI cannot handle it. I'll be interested to see how that goes. But with, power from death, with Gluttony, with Revenant, like, I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. Because one thing about those builds that profit from death is that it's too expensive to get a lot of fun out of it, and you're still losing your best units.
Yeah.
Well, here it doesn't matter at all. You're profiting from death, and you're not even suffering the downside. The only downside is you have to run in with nothing but tier 1 shock units. I really wanted to work Dragon into the build, though, so I could give them all Dragon Strike, but I couldn't make it work.
No. I mean, it would have been nice, but I think they do plenty already.
So yeah, there you go. That's my first build. We'll call it Immortal Gluttony. All right, what's your first build?
Okay, so yeah, my first build, like you announced, is gonna be Knights of the Cosmos. I'm pretty sure. I'm gonna have it in proper video form when it launches, because, I mean, I still want to test to make sure that it functions as intended. I remember it being fairly tricky to get everything working because the idea was to try to really get both Empire of the Cosmos and the Cosmic Tome, and then it's a little. I mean, there's some complications with the affinities that require you to later on get some other tomes to finish it up. Basically, the build path. So I'm just gonna say it first, so I can get that out of the way. Then I can explain myself. So the trick, the whole thing is, it's a cult of tyranny, dark culture. So whilst yours is cult of death, mine is cult of tyranny. So it's alchemy, sprites, then construct, then burning passion, cold dark, geomancy, calamity, nature's wrath. Then you get the tier 5 cosmos, the new cosmic tome, and then you have to get 2 more tomes, and for the just for the sake of affinities. So discipline and then prophecies. So it's a very mixed bag of a lot of things, and since you're playing with so many affinities, and you know, you're gonna get it with Tome of the Cosmos that gives you all damage types, but you also get the small benefit of having Geomancy in there, where you have even more adaptable damage with your units. But yeah, the whole idea behind it was to get the maximum benefit of having all affinities, because the new Imperium tree, the all the benefits are very good, and with this build you'll eventually build up to get all of them. And with both Empire of the Cosmos and Vigilante Knights, you'll be making a lot of Imperium so you can buy everything. So that was the main goal. But it was tricky to balance out and still have something at least passing as useful. I think all in all, the most benefited units are going to be battle mages, and you will have the Geomancer as one of them, and then you also have the Oracle. So you'll get a lot of good magic backing into your forces and all that. But I think the big picture benefit is you'll get everything that you possibly could out of a fully cosmic build with all affinities.
Yeah, I mean, Cosmos is really cool with alchemy. It's very funny to me because I think you and I have spent a lot of time on alchemy-based builds and trying to make them as good as we can make them.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes along and it's just
Yeah.
like, here's the obvious best way to do it. You have to delay things, right? It's not like as early, because I think a lot of our early builds you could get, you know, essentially a new damage type every tome, roughly.
Yeah.
And you could get it going that way. But now you can just go Alchemy Cosmos and build whatever you want in between, and
Yeah.
it'll work out the same in the end.
I mean, it has a small mid-game sort of benefit, because you will have, at least in this build, Geomancy. So you will have a little tiny bit of adaptable damage to kind of help things along, but it's going to depend on terrain and all that. But yeah, big picture is we finally have afflictors that can trigger every single affliction. The fact I picked Tyranny was to also help that along, because I did an affliction-based build, and one of the criticisms I got was I wasn't having anything that could lower status resistance or, you know, make it easier to land on later game enemies. I mean, I still think the build worked enough on its own, but with this, I made sure to, you know, there's Tome of the Cold Dark, so if you're really up against an end-game stack, you will want to use their map spell to lower the status resistance, and then you have all the benefits of Tyranny. So there's going to be a decent amount of application of negative debuffs, I think.
Yeah, I think that Tyranny is a natural pairing with Alchemy. You know, there's plenty of ways of reducing status resistance. Blood Right has become a staple in my builds almost entirely because of its ability to inflict reduced status resistance.
Yeah, unfortunately, I could not fit it at all here. So,
Yeah, no, it's totally fine. Like, you can't go into every build.
yeah, yeah. And yeah, what people might be seeing on screen, you can't see it yet because a little behind the scenes, everybody. We're recording this on one day, and I'm doing the gameplay on another day. So, Bootman isn't seeing what you're all seeing, but it's a repeat of my Reavers build where I'm not just playing to explore the tree, and I'm trying to do it proper. So in this one, I'm also kind of playing around with the idea of Cosmos. I think it's going to be an endgame tome for it, but instead of trying to go for everything, I'm going to go for like 3 main affinities. It's going to be order, materium, and nature, because I think for empire building and for vassals and for having huge cities, I think those 3 affinities are the best ones for the sake of that. So the whole game plan with that this other build is to... The core is pretty much heavy on order, materium, and nature, and using the vision of destiny. I would have liked to have the order vision of destiny for it, but I mean, far as vision of destiny works, materium out of the 3 options is the better one, and the affinity is kind of required because I already start with faith, so it's already very order heavy because you have vigilante knights, and then federate gives you more order, and then you have faith. So it would be a little too stilted into order, and I want to get more materium and nature into it. As of this moment, I still don't have it complete, but I'm pretty sure post editing I'll have the full build. Pretty much a theorycraft because I don't have Tome of the Cosmos, but the idea really is to go for solid cities because of all the affinities that favor it, instead of trying to chase after everything. It's kind of a sub-variant of the Knights of the Cosmos because I'm not trying to fit every affinity in, and I'm trying to unlock the Tome of the Cosmos with 3 affinities instead of 2 in each. Do you have any others?
Oh, tons. I got tons, man. I got them out. I got it out the wazoo. I will say my version of your Knights of the Cosmos, I'm not going to share the full thing because the tome path is kind of similar to my last one in that, it starts with kind of similar things. It ends up Bloodright and Revenant, in Crimson Rain and Revenant. The difference is it does go into Cosmos, and it's Oathsworn Strife. And that is because I just thought that the rating Imperium that you get from Oathsworn Strife will, in the end, outvalue other sources of Imperium because it's so good. It's a really aggro version of your Knights of the Cosmos, basically. But like I said, I don't want to focus on that one because it build-wise, even though playstyle-wise it'll be very different, build-wise it'll be fairly similar. So I wanted to do a bit of a different one this time. And I'm going to use Imperial Reavers because we've updated Reavers. And I'm going to beat you to having a Reaver build in this video, even though Reavers are your guys. So I got to thinking, what's so good about Imperial Reavers now? Well, what Imperial Reavers do is they can stack up that single building over and over again in the same city. So in theory, a Reaver at this point can build the best single city possible.
Fair.
They have infinite scaling. So I took Imperial Reavers.
Okay.
I gave them Chosen Destroyers.
Oh, that's a very... that's a good call, actually.
Right? Then Materium Vision of Promise, because that one is all about building up your main city, and then it gets a bunch of bonuses. And then I took every single source of a capital-only building that I could find in the game.
So Crimson Rain and what else?
Torment.
Oh, right.
And Corruption.
Oh, we're going full evil on this, even thematically.
Oh, 100%. It's Chosen Destroyers Reavers with Rain, Torment, and Corruption. It's so evil.
Wow.
I've got Doom Herald on
Oh,
this
no,
one.
yeah. So you're going the whole 9 yards on really, really, really evil.
Yep. I'm going the whole nine hells. Uh, so, and then it tops off because Cosmos also has a new capital only building. So it tops off with Cosmos. So you're going to build yourself the Crimson Court. You're going to build yourself the Throne of Insanity. You're going to get the Torment Lens, and you're going to build the Tower of the Cosmos. And you're going to take all the treasures from all of your enemies. You're going to raise all their cities. And you're going to build up the single best city ever.
Wow, I'm actually speechless. That made Imperial Reavers sound nicer to me. I mean, I'm still a little bitter because of the rework, but you made it sound very appealing for the Raider playstyle.
Yeah, I was just trying to think what they do better than anything else.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, doubling back really quick to the one that's still unfinished. My focus for the Federate, I think, is their new Magic Fighter unit because I see a lot of potential in it. And I just remembered one of the parts that I was theorycrafting is getting Terramancy because between the Sapper and the I forget the name, the Breacher, I think, you will get a plus 30% damage boost because Magic Fighter is still a very interesting group, and even now that the patches are opening up the way enchantments work, they're making them broader. Magic Fighters, I think, still get a lot of overlap and are a little more reliable than skirmishers in some cases. Those skirmishers are also eating pretty good with the latest adjustments, I would say. But I think that the Breacher has a lot of potential as a front line, and they have an area attack. So just consider you're giving plus 30% damage on an area attack, because the way Leyline Focus works is just straight up plus 30%. Okay, some enchantments give you like, oh, just for your base attacks, but no, this is across the board. So I really wanted to explore that tier 3 unit.
The Breacher is a really cool unit. Racial magic fighters, especially ones of an appropriate level, they're kind of hard to find. The big one right now is you have Stormborn, so you can get the one from there. But that requires investing into Stormborn, which is a very specific thing I find most of the time. However, we are getting Passion, which is going to give us a new Magic Fighter racial tome unit at level 3.
Oh, yeah. I still want to figure out something thematic for each of the symptoms. I haven't really been able to sit down and think of a good thing, but I definitely want a gluttony themed and a passion themed build because they're so weird in how specific they are in their theme that I think it merits some of that. And I mean, I even want to see. I'm not sure if it's yet possible to reconstitute the rogue class from Age of Wonders 3 because as memory serves, we did have something akin to the Shades. We did have some I'm not sure if it was Shadow Elementals or something, but you had rogues, you had succubi, and you had shadowy elemental things. So I think at this point we're really close to being able to recreate that class from the ground up.
Yeah, I think the Succubi Temptress in this case is the big last thing we're missing there. I quite like how the Succubi are going. I don't know how good they'll be in actuality, but in terms of how they look and what we can probably get out of it, I mean, I was just talking about how Bloodright is great because it can reduce status resistance. Well,
Yeah.
Bloodright actually stacks with Tome of Rock, which also does bleeding on magic fighters specifically.
Oh. Oh, I see where you're going.
They get both.
Okay. So Bloodright.
Um,
Yeah. Tome of Rock, then Burning Passion. I'm seeing the path.
yeah, it's no, I'm very much looking forward to trying that out. And anytime I do a build like that, I've got to put Pandemonium on it. Here's the thing. I think Pandemonium is severely underrated right now. There's a lot you can do with it. I just love the enchantment on it. I love the racial transformation on it. It does everything. If I'm doing a battle mage build, it does everything that I want. It even gives me a summonable tier 4 battle mage if I really need it. But even without that, just the transformation and the enchantment, that really it really butters my crumpet, okay?
Yeah, fair. I mean, yeah, there's little more to say about that. Another thing I'm still really in the early stages of considering is revisiting the idea from way back when we had Eldritch Sovereigns come out that I tried a very defensive build. Because, I mean, Abjuration I don't think will change the super defensive builds way too much, but they do a little tiny bit. I think the special province improvement for it is a little weak. I would like if it was like +2 defense per adjacency instead of +1, but I don't know, maybe that would be too strong for a tier 1 at least, but I think it's I could be wrong because they did keep altering things between patch cycles, but I'm pretty sure it's Abjuration, Cleansing Flames, and Crucible that have the proper city defense thing. Oh, and Artificing, I'm pretty sure.
It really depends on what you're looking for.
Fortification, health, and general siege assistance.
Okay, if those things you're looking for, what you want is you want to start with Umbral Disciples. That's the big one. So you can poison every enemy that gets into your range.
I mean, sure, for PvP, but I'm thinking Marauders also. I wanted something helpful for, across the board, not just AI and human enemies.
Well, Corruption is good. It gives Insanity. Dungeon is another one that gives fort level.
Yeah, I'm also thinking after you pointed out another underrated tome to me, Oblivion, because their city enchantment is pretty crazy.
Yep, Oblivion. I don't think Oblivion has a whole lot of stuff in it that is like really great. You get a summon, yay, whatever. But the city enchantment on it is legitimately bonkers. It's so good.
I mean, considering a few combinations, there's even one of the. I'm not sure if. I think it's Vision of Promise Materium, also, like you mentioned earlier, that gives you an Earth Titan every time you have a battle in your domain. So that plus mirrors plus artificing as well. You would get 3 units for free. Basically, your ruler, an Iron Golem, and an Earth Titan. And then you can add the effect from Oblivion. And I'm not sure if Abjuration actually has an in-domain effect, but at least you would have more fortification. So the idea would be, even if you get attacked, just churn out a cheap unit, and then you have basically these Avengers showing up just to help out that tiny little unit defend your territory. I think that's...
If you're going that far, you might as well take Bastion as well. You would take Industrious, because you get the Bastion's Barricade, which is a special building they get. You get 10 fortification health, and then just 2 Bastion units, 2 tier 3 shield units that spawn on your side when you fight.
Oh, that's actually fair. For this, before you mentioned Industrious, my mind was going to Oathsworn, because they do have that building that gets you their tier 3, but actually Industrious might be the right call for it.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely both options, I would say.
Yeah, but 2 Bastions, I mean, Bastions really are better equipped to hold the line, I would say.
And it gives fortification level as well, so... And plus, I've got plenty of Oathsworn build. I don't have as many Industrious builds anymore.
No, yeah, that's fair. And it's been a while since I did make an Industrious build, so it would be nice to go back and make my Abjuration build be some kind of Industrious with all that wacky stuff.
Yeah.
The problem, as always, is going to be harmonizing the affinities.
Oh, of course. I mean, it's so easy to just go into Empire of the Cosmos now. I had that happen a few times while I was working on builds. I was having the full, Bilbo reaction. It's like, why shouldn't I have it? Like, Just staring at Empire of the Cosmos and
Yeah. No, and I think back to when the trait came out, and we were like, okay, either this is super overpowered or it's going to be terrible. And then our verdict at the time is, okay, this is kind of very niche. And now that we're getting so many tomes to, the whole game, now we are looking back at it, and it's the meme. You couldn't live with your failure, so that brings you back to me.
I'd say the Vision of Promise trait, or a Vision of Destiny traits, definitely help make it more viable.
Yeah.
Getting 2 affinity on a single society trait, that just it really helps that along. The other thing about it is that you basically never, like, you do kind of, but it's very rare that you really need to hit the tier 3 bonus for it on curve. Like, if you just get 1 of each or 2 of each affinity, you're usually getting most of the benefit that you want out of it.
Yeah, that's perfectly fair. I kind of like Vision of Destiny, even if it quote unquote limits how you have to play, because I prefer to always having to churn out a dragon, because usually it comes down to the wire. You have to need that one affinity, and you go, oh, I kind of planned with another ruler, but no, it's going to be a dragon. So the vision traits really helped, so as to kind of rid myself of having to go to the dragons all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I think that it's it's almost annoying. I use it almost too much now because of that extra affinity bonus, but it really is just that good, and it really helps make builds that were not possible. And even aside from that, it just has a lot of really good aspects to it. Like Vision of Destiny is chef's kiss on any summon build, because summons can't benefit from Rachel's transformations, but they do benefit from the Vision of Destiny being fulfilled.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially the lifesteal. That one is crazy.
Lifesteal, you have the one that gives an extra retaliation attack. I've
That's the
got one that
Materium one.
uses the order one. Even the shadow one is just cute. I don't know if you know that one very well, but it's funny. It gives your units like slippery whenever an enemy unit dies, and they also heal. So whenever an enemy unit dies, you can just move your guys without worrying about retaliation attacks. Flank all your enemies and start punching them in the face.
Yeah, that's kind of evil, but kind of cartoonishly evil.
Yeah, I don't think it's particularly amazing, but it is better than it
Yeah, funny.
looks, I think.
You're basically kicking a dead horse.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah. At least far as my theory crafting has gone, I don't really have any more builds, because I'll still try and focus on maybe doing something with sprites that's not the Cosmos build. I think I need to play to get a proper idea of what to do with them. This is about as far as my theory crafting goes. So, unless you have maybe a last one for the road, Bootman.
I mean, sure, if you want. So I'll give you what I've got for Sprite currently.
Sure.
So I built a Mystic Summoner build. Goes Sprite, Evolution, Fey Mist, Burning Passion, Dragon, Pandemonium, Nature's Wrath, and Calamity. So you're summoning fairies and dragons. It's very high fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential there, and Nature's Wrath actually got a decent buff.
It got an incredible buff. That tome is like almost viable now.
Yeah, I mean, it does have it already was pretty good for Devolve for, capture strategies, but now that it has the new Frenzing enchantment, I think that it really elevated it to be more viable for more things.
Yes. The thing it suffers from that I've noticed whenever I try to build for it is nature is so bad at buffing your mages. There's almost nothing. It's like cycles, and that is it as far as things that just straight up buff your mages. So it's kind of hard to justify building into Nature's Wrath when the other tomes you would want to pick up to that point don't really help a huge amount. Plus, you have Supremacy getting a Battle Mage buff, and there's all these other great tier 4s. it's really fighting tooth and nail. They're improving supremacy as well, so both of those are much better than they used to be. But both of
Yeah.
them, I think, still need a little bit more to be fully competitive.
Oh, I agree. There's some tomes that were kind of left by the wayside, and
But
I
yeah,
mean,
just back to the build real quick though.
yeah,
The summons thing lets you summon plus evolve is always a fun combo. So if you're Mystic Summoners, you're summoning Fae, then you can throw the Astral Echoes into evolving them into their full fairy forms, or throw those into your dragons to level them up as well. There's a lot of potential for that. Obviously, you're taking mana channelers as well to get the mana cost reduction and the experience point increase. Um, I think it's a pretty solid build, and it just feels cool to do. And I'm a
yeah,
fan of summon builds because they give you a bit more freedom with your race as well. Like on this one, I just freaking took the golden wyvern mounts because it didn't matter. I'm not depending on my race at all, so I could spend all my points on a cool dragon mount.
yeah. That's fair. I would just make a quick little note
Yeah.
on the dragons. I'm not sure if you noticed, but now you can level up your dragons with gold, and
Yep.
I would say that's a little more useful than using the unique mana for the summoners.
Well, it's good to have both options, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely does, but it's much harder for the echoes to come by than the gold itself. I feel.
No, I 100% agree.
Then, yeah, I guess this is pretty much what we've got thinking. At the moment. I mean, Bootman has a lot more ideas, but at least we covered a broad spectrum based on what we know and the ideas we've got going on. And well, one thing is the theory, the other is practice, but it's looking pretty good. I'm excited for 6 tomes and a lot to try out when the DLC drops. Thank you, Bootman, for joining me, and thank you everyone for listening. This one is a little bit shorter than the usual, which I think it's good. Sometimes a shorter episode is good, and we were just talking build. So I hope you try out the ideas we were putting out, and that you have fun when Secrets of the Archmages drop. So yeah, thank you everyone, and see you all in the next one.